Just want to say thank you to Oxhorn and to Ghost Robo, who actually covered the main story and some of the lore in their coverage of Fallout 76. Oxhorn was quoted as saying, with all the notes, voice logs, the terminals, he found himself overwhelmed with the story, which is a good thing to hear coming from him. So the first thing that sticks out is his advice to choose lockpicking and hacking perks first in order to loot the maximum amount and to not be locked out of the story. Also, there's plenty of opportunities to scrap your junk or to store your junk at the beginning of the game. So if you're worried about strength or your carry weight at the beginning of the game, don't be. Alright, so we're going to go over a little bit of the main quest. So the Overseer leaves Vault 76 ahead of the Resis. That's what they call the Vault Citizens. You find out through a terminal that she wants you to find her camp, and she leaves it behind on her way to the nearest town. She has orders to conduct this mission alone, but she decides to ask the Resis for help. Her orders are to secure Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. Those are the code names for the 3 silos in the Appalachia. We must note that her orders are to reclaim the silos regardless of who's in charge at the time. Now, the Overseer was asked to conduct this mission alone, but she decided to ask help from the Resis. Alright, let's go over a few things that we already know about the Vault. The weapons have been found in the Vault, yet, as the Overseer took them away after successfully defending the Vault and then denied request to rearm the Resis on Reclamation Day. A number of the original Vault citizens were luminaries from Vault-Tec University. The Vault was near rations. Its population had grown beyond expectations. Note that they weren't starving, they were just close to rations and low on supplies. There was a little bit of tension in the Vault over some food and some responsibilities that were starting to break down. So the Vault citizens, or Resis, are quoted as being geniuses, and they would hack into terminals and stick their noses in places where Vault-Tec didn't like. Everyone in the Vault was competitive, and they gave away awards to stroke egos and made sure everyone felt that they were special. The first baby born in the Vault was a special occasion, and it was compared to that final night in the Vault. So there is no option to stay in the Vault. According to a terminal, the oxygen is cut, so it becomes unlivable. And through gameplay, we see that you cannot re-enter the Vault once you leave. That may change in a later time. A couple more things. If your group members complete an event without you, you get the caps and experience. You can also go to the scene of where it took place and loot whatever was there. Note for completion is you might want to not do events and stuff like that with other team members, as it would check them off your list if they're part of a main side quest, for example. So how does time pass? It appears that 3 hours of gameplay is equivalent to 2 in-game days. So roughly 1 real hour equates to 16 in-game hours. I'm not sure on that. It was really hard to calculate, and that's probably going to need some adjustment. You can find the Mothman Museum in Pleasant Point. Mothman eggs can be found around statues and shrines. Remember this quote: "The end of the world has awoken something unseen deep beneath the earth." So I watched some gameplay and trying to figure out how VATS work. So it appears that once you have it activated, you shoot from the hip and as your cursor gets closer to the target, your percentage increases. So it seems like this would be good for a weapon that you can shoot a couple of rounds fast, in quick bursts. So as your cursor comes over the target, you just shoot 3 times from the hip. And that's kind of how they cheat. I was wondering how they were going to do that. And of course, this is done in real time. So I heard somewhere that there is 70,000 items. Robots trade, vending machines have ammo, devs give away free stuff. We saw a large co-op camp, so that's pretty cool. So let's get back into the main story. The responders were a group of first responders, firemen, police, ambulance. They would teach survival techniques, in this case, dirty, boiled, or purified water. It looks like it's a tutorial embedded into the notes, voice logs, and terminals. So the responders appear to have long left. Notes and voice logs point to a time back in summer of '96, approaching 19 years after the bombs had fell. In a note to Janet from James, dated May 4th, 2096, a man who has been waiting for the vault to open because the person he loves is inside and he regrets not entering it with that person. He leaves a note because he's finally saying goodbye to the town, because he needs to move on. But what doesn't make sense is, what if that vault opens 20 years after the bombs drop? This is in May '96, which means if the vault would have opened 20 years later, it's only another 17 months of waiting. And a voice log from a 13-year-old named Colonel raises questions about when the recording took place. The kid speaks as if his bad childish behavior caused bad things to happen, like the Great War. He talks like he was born before the war, but in '96, 19 years after the bombs dropped, Colonel should have been a grown man by 2096. His last check-in was May 12th. Given that both Dasa and Colonel both sounded young in their recordings, and Dasa's corpse was found, and it was a full-grown woman with little decay, but that's another story. It is safe to say that they were recorded sometime after the flood near Morgantown Airport had displaced a number of responders to Flatwood. I estimate this recording could be as early as 3 years after the bombs fell, so about 2080. Colonel would have been old enough to be a bratty kid pulling the pranks that he did on people, as well as he would have remembered the bombs, the fallout, the aftermath. So in the aftermath of the fallout, he eventually joins up with the responders and moves to Flatwood. So 2 major questions after discussing all of this is, we still don't know why Vault 76 was sealed for an extra 5 years, and we don't know who or why Vault-Tec was hacked approaching Reclamation Day. Alright, that's everything for now. I'll be making a new video covering Fallout 76 as best as I can, relieving a few YouTubers of all that information that's going to be coming forth in the next, I guess, with the beta coming up at the end of October. Cheers.